Hi Tesla shareholders, congratulations again. So I'll cover the news first this week to set the context on my charts, on how I analyze the technical charts. You know, Tesla broken all-time highs, broke previous resistance of $380 and shot above $400 for a moment. You must be thinking, what massive good news caused the stock to surge so much higher than the review of Model Y, Cybertruck, quarterly earnings, China Gigafactory, blah 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 blah. No, the news must have been so massive that the stock spike will be more than all this past good news. So let's go through the news of last week. The prolongation of the tax credit from 200,000 cars to 600,000 cars failed. You know, Congress decided it was more important to fund Boeing's project to prevent more stupid mistakes made by the 737. I want to go on a little rant. You know, Boeing screwed up massively and got the money from Congress. In the recent Boeing Starliner, you know, the rocket launch they did recently, they screwed up again. But you just got to understand that NASA paid Boeing so much more when Boeing requested additional funds, and yet NASA reduced SpaceX budget. SpaceX got the job done, Boeing didn't. Sometimes I think the world really takes Elon Musk for granted, and that's the biggest reason why I do my videos. So moving on, sorry for the rant. By the way, help me smash the like button, yeah? The tax credits was extended for chargers, so that was 1/4 of the good news. You know, those building superchargers will get extra incentives. We see China cars being produced and sent to delivery centers, but that news is not really new. We all knew that was kind of happening. However, there was one article on Bloomberg. It's fake news created by fraudsters again. So don't believe everything you see, even if it's on Bloomberg. They mentioned on Bloomberg that cutting the price coming out of Tesla factory, that news is made so people will hold on to their purchase and wait. So don't believe everything you see. Use some, common sense. So the final news is the news I believe is the real cause of Tesla shares flying. By now you understand that for the past week, there wasn't any news that was really bigger than the review of the Model Y Cybertruck quarterly earnings and the China Gigafactory, or even the German Gigafactory. So what really caused it? Now, I covered this news quite quickly on the 2-minute video I did on Monday, so I'll put the link up here. I believe now is the short squeeze. You know, Tesla is the most shorted stock in the history of the stock market. I actually did a video on this like months ago, and I link it up here also. I believe the short squeeze Elon mentioned is here. Short needs to cover. It's coming to the end of the year. Some need to close their books, while other short sellers covering as more shorts reach their profit and loss pain and risk limits. So this is a Tesla charts. If you realize, this is the first time the stock has surged past my prediction box. This green box, I used to draw this every week for my Tesla weekly video to let you know roughly where the share price will be. And this is the first time it surged past my green box, which is a good news because all of us are Tesla shareholders and we are all earning a lot of money now. So anyway, I'm happy that I'm wrong this part here, but I want you to think about it. How did this happen? You see, this is the very green candle over here, and if you look at the entire year's worth of green candles and red candles, there is not a single time over here where the green candle and the stock price moved that much. The only time it moved that much was during the quarterly earnings, which there was a really healthy retracement here. It was really good because, as I said, you cannot have one time surging up, because the faster it surges up, it needs healthy retracements to go upwards, like zigzagging up. You do not see a stock that goes like this and never comes down. It doesn't happen in the stock market, okay? Even if it happens, probably it's 1 in the 7,000 stocks listed on the stock market. Anyway, moving forward, so if you look at the movement here, it's a bit unreasonable with so little news. So if it's not the news that is causing all this, what could be the probable cause? So the probable cause is probably the short sellers are closing their positions, they realize, hey look, I may be wrong. You know, I did, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I did a video on short sellers, and they have a very high percentage of Tesla shares shorted. So again, I'll put the link up there. And these short sellers are like, okay, I'm wrong and I need to start covering. So probably this is the biggest reason, in my opinion, where the share price is just surging upwards. You know, when I drew this green box earlier, right, I expected the stock price to, like, you know, come down and go up. So it didn't, and without much massive news, the stock price did this. So this really could be the short squeeze I've been waiting for. I've been trying to tell you guys that this will happen. Okay, now let's look at the long-term view on the Tesla charts. I'm going to click 5 years here, and if you remember these purple lines that I drawn this on, I think, the 1st December. I did a weekly analysis on 1st December, and I actually mentioned to you why I did these purple lines. So let's come back to these lines on the long-term view. The stock chart moves sideways, and finally it bursts. This purple line is moving sideways, and I did mention that the moment this sideways line, this long-term purple line, is being broken, it's going to be a massive move upwards. And it did come true. You see, it burst through and boom, the thing went up, right? So I do not see the stock going lower than this long-term purple line. So this long-term purple line right now is about 360, and I actually do not see it coming below 360 for now. On the long-term charts, that is 360 is your long-term support. For the mid-term and short-term, the stock has broken past the mid-term and short-term support. So for now, all this movement here, where I foresee the movement will be, I'm just going to rearrange my green box over here. Rearrange it up. Let me shift the chart a bit lower. Where I foresee the stock going, again, overall it's still going to be on a long-term uptrend. Where I foresee going is that it may actually bounce off the past resistance to form the new support area, where it may bounce here, and probably it will sideways for a little while until the quarterly earnings come out for Q4. So the trajectory is still uptrend, it's still good to go, just that those who wants to go into a new position, you may need to wait for retracement. And for those that took action over here, I tell you guys, you know, 330 is a very good place. You go look at my past videos, I said 330 you have to go in already, and I actually recommend people to go in over here. Those who did, congrats to you. Those who didn't, I would suggest waiting for the next retracements. Right now it's a little bit high, so probably if you're looking for new positions, you guys wait for a little retracements, because again, I said all stocks don't go up in one direction. It will probably zigzag up. In conclusion, Tesla shares shorted have not dipped below 20 million shares since mid-2013. But as the stock price keeps hitting historical highs, we can expect shorts covering to accelerate as short market to losses mount. If you like this weekly analysis, do help give me a like for the YouTube algorithm. I'll highly appreciate it. Thank you, and invest safe.